Hello, hello. I'm sitting here with my friends and co-teachers, Jacq St. Pierre and David O. We just finished up 2 weekends, actually, of retreat here in Texas. And we're just sitting around chatting and discussing and conjuring up our upcoming project, our 300-hour with the Mindfulish School, which is our teacher training school. And it's going to be released for registration soon. And we've been getting a lot of questions about it, so we thought that we would take a little bit of time to answer a few of those inquiries. And yeah, we're just pretty excited about it, so we want to share.
I think what's important to kick us off by saying or answering the question, what's happening in the 300-hour? What's different about the 300-hour than the 200-hour training? And the simple way to answer that is yoga is so big and we have more time this go around. So in our 200-hour training, we learn so many things. And I always think about it as a snapshot of all of these little wonderful nuggets of wisdom. And in the 300-hour training, we really have the space and time to dive deeper into each of these topics. So we've learned the foundations, and now we get to learn the details and the nuances, and we have time to try on the practices in our own minds, hearts, and bodies, so that we can offer from the place of having experienced it ourselves.
So Jacq mentioned that in a 200-hour training, you get a snapshot of the whole of yoga, all these different, deep, wonderful, complex pieces, but you go a mile wide and an inch deep, right? And in your 300-hour program, we're going to go a mile deep. And each one of the 8 limbs of yoga has depth and richness that can really bring your practice to life on your mat and out in the world, both as a student and as a teacher, especially when it comes to the yamas and the niyamas. Concepts like ahimsa and satya. These are woven into our physical practice in really interesting and fun ways that, as a teacher, once you understand these concepts with some depth and some context, you can bring that to your teaching, to your sequencing, and really have a lot more fun and bring a lot more richness to your classes as a teacher.
So one of the things that make our 300-hour unique is how much time and consideration that we spend on learning and befriending and investigating our nervous system, and how trauma affects us, how addiction affects us, and then the subsequent recovery. And all of these are interlaced in our experience of being human. We're all affected in some way, and to have some literacy around our emotions and our biology is the closest thing to a superpower that I can think of. And whenever we take the time to do this inner archaeology and gather this self-awareness about ourselves, then we're really able to show up in a wider space for our students, and which allows them to show up with their whole selves. And that reciprocity, like that ability to hold space and to be seen and heard for other people, and vice versa, is that's where the magic happens.
Another place that we kind of hone in our focus is the practice of devotion. And in the 200-hour program, we learn about bhakti yoga. And in this more spacious setup, we've got time to explore what a devotional practice is and how it can be unique for each of us. And one of the reasons that I'm so inspired and have such a deep love for this path of yoga is because it can be fun and it can be creative. I think that devotional practice, having a sense of ritual, which is part of this path, is a way that it makes our personal practice sustainable. Because our yoga practice will change as we change, and this gives us the tools to navigate the changes and still maintain a practice. And is fun, and it can be silly and artistic. So it's a huge piece of what's kept me going for all this time. Another place that is so important for us to offer to the practice, you could say, is having inclusivity and equitable and ethical practices as part of not just our teaching, which we learned about in our 200-hour training, but also in our business, in this model of how we run the show over here, so that we can offer this practice that has been so life-changing to as many people as possible. Another unique and important component of our program is that we offer a 20-hour mentorship. And during this time, it's really your time for us to support you. So you get to kind of lead the way. You have space to get creative. Maybe you've already got this project kind of like brewing, but you don't know what the next steps are. So you'll have one-on-one time with Cole and myself and some of our other guest teachers to help you bring this project to life. You want to say anything else?
It's really beautiful to watch this like seed of an idea get to be cultivated and come into fruition. And I've got to watch it happen for people time and time again, and happen for myself time and time again. And it's such an incredible process, and we're really excited to help you nourish and cultivate whatever it is that is driving you, what your curiosity is, what your passion is. So.
And whatever your seed is, it could really fit into a wide range. It could be, I finally need a website, or I want to build a training, or I'm really wondering how to lead a retreat. Really anything under this wide umbrella, and like you've just got our ears and our hearts and hopefully our minds to help you along the way.
This is actually, I'll say quickly, this happened in my 300-hour with Denise Payne. Why I love this so much is that my project was a merge. So my yoga and recovery training that I run was my 300-hour project for me to create the outline and everything, and she supported me through that. And then now that's one of the favorite things that we run. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we begin in spring of 2023. The training is packaged in 4 units, and it will be a blend of lots of live time online, so lots of FaceTime where we can all be having conversation, interacting together in real time, some pre-recorded lecture, homework, group work, lots of time to connect with each other, and we've spaced it out in a really thoughtful way.
So for each unit, we'll be meeting bi-weekly for our intensive weekends. And then within that time, you'll have some of the pre-recorded lecture and be meeting with your group and stuff as well. It will be a lot of work, and we've tried to give enough room and space so that life can happen as well. But we think this gives a lot of integration time that we have extended it and created some longevity out of it. So we encourage you to join the whole shebang, the whole 300 hours, but if there's a certain component that you're really curious about, then you can also take it as an immersion.
Right, so you can sign up for one module and kind of space them out as you want, or you can take them all together. So you can find out more details about all the modules and what they are, the dates, there's another FAQ, check that out, but also let us know if you have questions, reach out to us, we are here to support you, and we like to talk, so we'd love to meet you.